Oh, greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back for today's upload. Before we get into it, though, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman, Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and it definitely matters. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's upload, shall we? Alright guys, today I'm going to share with you some very terrifying encounters, also some terrifying Dogman attacks out of Japan with, well, what I believe to be a Dogman, and I'm assuming you guys will too after you hear it. And of course, some terrifying and compelling video clips. Let's get into it. Today's first encounter. About 10 years ago, I was on my way south on 99 between Sacramento and Galt at around 11 p.m., driving about 70 miles an hour, when near the side of the freeway I saw something very long, whitish, palish pink, with a face I remember describing as Rabbit Bear Man. Its eyes reflected back at me very brightly, and it moved very, very smoothly and quickly back into the brush on weird, messed up limbs. I was moving so fast and had loud music on, so I wasn't able to observe for long or listen for any sounds. It scared the crap out of me, and when I got to my then boyfriend's house, I broke down trying to describe what I saw. At this point, 10 long years later and many substances between now and then, I frankly don't remember exactly what it looked like, but I remember how I felt, and my now husband is able to tell me exactly how I described it to him. I convinced myself that it wasn't real and never really talked about it, but a few years later, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I told a very close friend who then freaked out and said her friend, someone I had never met before, saw something similar. It was off of the freeway in Northern California, and a car full of people had seen it. He described it to her exactly the same way I described it to my boyfriend/husband. We met a while later, and both had one of those weird crying goosebumps but not actually sobbing moments talking about it. Now, I don't know about the skinwalker thing or anything else, but neither of us saw it stand upright. Has anyone seen something like that, with more of an animal face, messed up limbs, and on all fours? Or am I dealing with something completely different? So, what do you guys think? Crawler? Not really sure. It does definitely sound like some sort of mutation. Possibly a crawler, though. I mean, they did describe it with kind of an animalistic face, but it was on all fours. They really didn't mention hair or anything, so that's kind of hard. You just kind of have to go off of what they share. Anyway, today's first video clip is one out of Mexico, and it is very chilling. Check it out.
La última batería con queda. Tío, tío, es que esto es flipar, ¿eh?
¿Verdad? Esto es como la cámara, tío, que es de kilómetros.
Mira, 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 mira.
Me cago en Dios.
Es que, tío, yo qué sé, tío, se llaman plumas, tío. ¿Llevas uno?
Segur que sent soroll.
Home, tio, ja veus si sent soroll. Des de fa rato que sent soroll. Que sí, collons, que sí. Hòstia. Escolta. Ho sents o no? Hey, va, corre, corre.
Definitely a creepy video. I can say one thing about it is that I'm glad I wasn't the one filming it. On to tonight's second encounter. So I have an experience that I'd like to share. I lived in Florida most of my life until October of 2020 when I moved to upstate South Carolina. Lived with my grandparents in the mountains around Salem for a little while before moving to the outer suburb of Greenville. My backyard of my house in Greenville had a downward slope and a creek at the bottom. Then an upward slope on the other side leading to another set of homes. The creek led into a large patch of woods. One more house down past mine, a good 50-ish acres. Not long after moving in, I went and explored the creek and found a small shard of pottery half buried in the ground. It was dark greenish and had a few basic floral designs on it. I brought it inside because I was planning to contact the nearby university and ask if it had any significance. But I never did actually get around to doing that. One day shortly after that, sitting on my back porch at around noon, I started hearing whistles, like some guy was calling his dog or something. But it was the exact same tone and melody every single time. It never changed. I looked around and didn't see anyone, but I could pinpoint where the sound was coming from. It was coming from the patch of woods down the creek the first couple of times I had heard it. Then slowly moved out of the woods and into the backyard of the house behind mine. Again, I didn't see anyone, and it's still the same whistle, almost like it was a recording on repeat. This happened every couple of days for a few weeks. Always the same exact whistle and no one else to be seen but me. I didn't think anything of it at the time until I moved again late last year to Spartanburg County. Obviously, I won't say the exact place where I am, but I'm in the northern part of a very rural area with plenty of woods around, along with plenty of coyotes and other wildlife. I hadn't heard the whistle in a long time, probably about a year. A couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting outside of my house at around 9 p.m. having a bonfire. I heard a pack of coyotes go nuts around a quarter of a mile away, which is not unusual, so I didn't think anything of it. After a couple of moments, they went completely silent, and I didn't hear any other wildlife, not even crickets. Then, out of nowhere, I heard the same exact whistle again. It was coming from a ditch next to the road in front of my house, about 30 yards from where I was sitting. I froze and sat there listening as I knew that this time something was up. Why am I hearing the same exact whistle as I've heard in the backyard of my previous home over an hour drive away? I waited another few moments and I heard it one more time, then silence. Another few minutes pass, and then the usual wildlife and crickets start going again. The rest of the night I felt watched, and now every time I go out at night, I feel the same way. Now I'm really not sure what it is, considering all I've got is a few identical whistles, but it's definitely not normal. Whatever it might be, there is no doubt it followed me from Greenville over an hour away. I tried ruling out by saying it's birds, but the timing is just way too irregular. Surely I'd hear it more often, right? Instead of a few times last summer, then not at all until the middle of September of a year later. Looking for answers on what it might be. If anything, as far as the pottery shard, it was left in a closet at the previous house in Greenville, which has now been rented to another tenant. Now I've been informed that this entity is most likely a crawler, and something potentially has happened. Not long ago, I walked down my driveway and checked the mail. My driveway is about 200 feet long down to the mailbox, and I'm not going to lie, I've been incredibly curious to know exactly what I'm dealing with, and I'm not afraid to admit I've been actively scanning the treetops for anything I might see every time I walk outside. Well, after I got the mail and walked back up my driveway, I stood on the back porch just watching. I ended up paying most of my attention to a large oak tree in my neighbor's yard, around 100 yards from where I was standing. Up near the top, I could see daylight peeking through, and watched that particular spot for a moment. After about 30 seconds of watching the tree, I actually did see something. It moved from the top end of the tree and hopped down the branches at a fast pace. At first, I thought it was a squirrel or something, but it was just too big. I was too far away to make out any physical features, but I could see that it was gray in color and at least 5 to 6 feet tall. It was bounding down the tree branches. The rate it was hopping down the branch by branch honestly made it look like a gray gorilla trying to drop to the bottom of the tree as fast as it could. Again, I couldn't make out any physical features like arms or legs, but I honestly can't think of any animal that would be that large and that fast. Unless a hairless chimpanzee the size of a full-grown human escaped from the nearby zoo and just so happened to end up in a tree in my neighbor's backyard over 50 miles away, I guess. I'm thinking about setting some cameras up and just sit and watch to see if anything else happens. I'm not going to interact with it. I'm just going to sit back and observe for a while. Alright guys, today's second video clip is definitely a little chilling. You can kind of make out two sets of eye shine, and the person that's seen this and took this video says that he estimates its height to be, or their height to be, about 8 feet tall. Check it out. Definitely a creepy video. The guy is on his back porch. He's got his dog with him. And he kind of spots some eye shine in the back. So he grabs his flashlight and starts peeking around. Well, then he sees another set of eye shine. Freaks him out, freaks his dog out. Next day he goes out and measures the height of where the eye shine was and estimates it to be about 7 to 8 feet. Definitely something I don't want in my backyard. On to today's third part of the upload. Today's third part of the upload is a report out of Japan. And to me, it sounds like a Dogman. Just the way they're describing it. They have a cutesy little name for this creature. But once you hear the kind of description of the creature and the way of the attacks, you'll understand why I say Dogman. Check it out. It's not often in the crypto news reporting business that one comes across a creature that has never been seen before nor written about in folklore mythology. Today may be one of those days. Reports are coming out of northern Japan of a mysterious ninja bear, which has been blamed for dozens of attacks on dairy cattle. What pushes this creature out of the realm of the Ursidae family, or bear, and possibly into the cryptid category are the facts that bear attacks on livestock are rare. These attacks are occurring in the middle of the night, and paw prints appear to be unusually large, and the cow carcasses are often left barely eaten, something no respecting bear would ever do. Has Japan acquired a new cryptid? Could one of the many shape-shifting beings of Japan folklore gotten stuck in bear mode? Have some of Japan's bear species mutated into cow killers? Damage caused by brown bears continue in Hokkaido. It is estimated to be a giant brown bear with the length of 2 meters and the weight of over 300 kilograms. This bear is called OSO-18, and hunters have been chasing it for 3 years, but they have been unable to catch it and continues to attack livestock. After interviewing experts and hunters, we have come to see the terrifying reality. And news reporting recently that farmers in Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost main island, have been plagued by a mysterious brown bear since 2019. The name OSO-18 comes from the district where it's first reported. And the huge width of the paw prints, 18 centimeters or 7 inches, the bear is estimated to weigh up to 400 kilograms or 880 pounds and measures 2 meters or 6.5 feet in length, or height if it goes bipedal, as some mythical Japanese bear are wont to do. More on that later. Right now, farmers in towns like Akishi tell the news that the ninja bear has killed 65 cows in 1 month, and they fear it could expand its menu. It's a monster. I think, must be huge. If it starts attacking not only cows, but also people, it will be too late. Although many of the farmers say they have surveillance cameras set up, the ninja bear has only been recorded 3 times. Which I will share some of that news clip, what I can share without getting a strike. Because it's so elusive, the Shire Toko Foundation Brown Bear Association director says that while the DNA found at some of the scenes indicates that it's a brown bear, many people fear it is a ninja bear, which has special powers like invisibility and the skills to evade hunters. A university professor, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce anyone's name or some of the things that I can't, so just bear with me. University professor agrees that repeatedly causing damage without anyone noticing may give the impression of it being a ninja. OSO-18 is feared as the ninja bear. They point out that there have been more than a dozen incidences in Hokkaido throughout the year. The incidents in Shibuya-cho happens almost every year, which is very unique. They also fear that there may be more than one super powerful ninja bear. It's a tremendous amount of power. Even if 3 or 4 professional wrestlers wanted to come, I don't think they'd be able to win at all. Bears are animals that have a very high learning ability. And if we see OSO-18 attacking a cow, or if we find a cow that has been attacked after it has been attacked, we will learn similar behavior. It's possible, and all this is through Google Translation, by the way, guys. Okay, professional wrestling is fake, while the cow killing by a ninja bear in Japan appears to be very real. They're very scary to both farmers and local residents who fear it, or they could turn into killing humans next. The locals would like help from the hunters, but rifles are scarce in Japan, and the ammunition is even scarcer. Yamanaka has even gone as far as to blame the United States for the dilemma. When social unrest occurs, I'm not sure what happens to Americans, but they seem to buy a lot of weapons. That's why there is a general shortage. The Ministry of the Environment and others are calling for vigilance, as the number of sightings will increase from next month and more people will be injured. Could the real problem in these areas be that the ninja bear is not a giant rogue brown bear? with the penchant of killing cows, but one of the many giant bear-like cryptids of Japan. One is the Onikuma, a mythical Japanese spirit that was once a bear, but as it aged, it evolved into a monster that walks upright, sneaks into villages at night, and steals livestock. Onikuma are said to be possessed with the strength to throw boulders that 10 humans together could not lift. The preferred way to kill a Onikuma is to hollow out a large tree into a tube and use it to block up the mouth of its nest of vines, then plunge poles into the trunk into the nest. When the Onikuma comes out, it is vulnerable to attacks with spears and guns. In Keio era, in early 1700s, there are tales of the Onikuma being killed and their skins covering 10 square meters or 33 feet. One more scary fact that points to the Onikuma: many of the tales come from Hokkaido, the home of the current ninja bear attacks. Sora News 24 gives one more reason why the ninja bears are so mysterious and feared. The ninja bear is also suspected to be adapted to walking into rivers so as not to leave tracks, and in an attack that took place in July, it appears to have known to dig a hole in the soil to slip underneath an electrified fence. With a lack of guns and ammunition, and a predator that can elude surveillance cameras, what can the poor dairy farmers of northern Japan do to protect themselves and their livestock from this monster? Perhaps even cryptid/beast. Sora News 24 reports that at least one has deployed one of Japan's robot monster wolves, a scary robotic wolf with motion detectors that trigger them to howl, growl, and show scary red eyes that are said to chase away bears. Will they work on the ninja bear? As the ninja bear attacks of northern Japan show, sometimes the line between biology and cryptozoology can get pretty blurry, even in modern times. So I am going to share with you a couple video clips of this kind of crazy Onikuma ninja bear, possible Dogman. The the interesting thing is that they're going to use a robotic wolf with glowing red eyes. That's creepy. And wait till you see the video clip of this robotic wolf with red eyes. To me, it sounds like you're trying to fight a robotic Dogman versus a biological Dogman. But who knows? Check it out. So really quick, I did take the volume out of that. They were just speaking Japanese. Now, some may be saying, Jeff, that was a bear. Yeah, that was. Similarities, though, in some of these attacks resemble a dogman if you really think about it. The soft tissue, the absolute huge paw prints that are not even comparable to the size of the Japanese brown bear. And, 7 inches. A normal Japanese brown bear's paw print is somewhere between 3 to 4 inches. This thing is absolutely huge compared to the bears over there. So, plus there's this huge plot of land in northern Japan that these attacks are happening. So maybe a couple are done by these bears and then maybe some by dogmen. It definitely has the population of Hokkaido stirred up and freaked out. And in modern times, we're in 2022. You've got villages saying, this is a cryptid, this is a monster. Japan isn't a third world country. They're that's like a populated large town in America saying, we have in the news dogmen attacking our cattle or Bigfoot attacking our cattle. So I just wanted to share it with you. I found it very interesting, and I hope you guys did too. Let's get on to today's fourth part of the upload. I was walking home from a dying friend's home that was surrounded by buzzards after a few months of really messing around with stuff I shouldn't be. At about 2 or 3 in the morning, I approached my front door, and from the shadows of the bushes next to the entrance, a large, black, muscular dog approaches. Similar to a Rottweiler, but not exactly the same. The flesh was rotten in places, revealing either flesh or hellfire within. There was a tinted red glow to the wounds. No discernible smell, but I have allergies, so I don't really smell generally. But the eyes absolutely freaked me out to this day. They glowed exactly like embers, exactly like burning coals. The eyes were entirely like circular doors to a furnace, and unlike anything else. It snarled and arched that way dogs do before viciously ripping apart a wayward child or home intruder, putting 2 paws closer as it was going to lunge. Without any thought, just a sink or swim moment, I pushed out with my hand, the sign of the cross. And in anger, I scream out, "Go to hell," pushing down with that internal feeling out through my hand. It quickly sank down through the concrete, like how a smoke-filled bubble pops on the surface. Black smoke without substance. I never saw it again, but I think about those eyes a lot. I've seen more than my fair share, but that damn dog and its eyes, exactly like coal, is still crisp in my mind. And today's third or fourth video clip is definitely freaky and what I think could possibly be a rake. Check it out. Really creepy, but I'm really not sure where I stand on that one. Could be a nude human being. Here's something to think about. If it is a nude human being, you think they got ticks? Because that grass looks like it's infested with ticks. Also, do you think crawlers, dogmen, and Bigfoot get ticks? Huh. Imagine that. Dogman with Lyme disease. Giddy up. All right, guys, on to today's final encounter, and after that, the final video clip. Last night I was on my way to my boyfriend's house in the middle of nowhere. I've been living with him for a few months now and never seen anything strange or out of the ordinary. As I was a few miles into his backcountry road, something that I can most relate to looking like a really tall, skinny dog was walking on the side of the road. I was going fast, so I didn't get an amazing look at it, but what I could see was a black face with 2 flesh-colored holes where its eyes were supposed to be, and a flesh-colored hole where the mouth should have been. I don't know about you guys, but when I almost hit the animal, I instantly stunned and felt bad and swerved, but it was like my body knew this thing was more than normal. I didn't get that awe, I almost hit an animal feeling, but the feeling like WTF was that. My mouth involuntarily dropped open out of pure shock. I didn't see the body, but only the outline of the face shape and also the 2 black hind legs that were very lanky. Today's final video clip. Guys, definitely a creepy video. What appears to be an albinoed Bigfoot. And if that is a mask, that is a very good mask. Very good costume, actually. And the way it moves is just... that end, how it just kind of... gone. Creepy. Not cool at all, my friends. Not cool. What is cool is all the support you guys give me, and I truly appreciate it. I don't think I say it enough. You guys are the heart and soul of this channel. You guys push me on a daily basis to give you guys the best content I can give you. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. May the Great Spirit watch over us all. May He guide us down that path that we call life.